So if you follow my channel at all, you know that I did a demo and review of the new B-8, the guitar wireless system. So I've been testing the new B-8, using it pretty much non-stop. And I can tell you right now, man, that this thing is pretty cool. And initially I really liked this pedal a lot, and I like it even more now. And the reason why is because I actually familiarized myself with many of the other controls and parameters. And there's one in particular that I glossed over that I probably should have covered, and it actually made me like it even more. And so I'm gonna show you how to do everything. So the first thing that you should know when setting this up is that, yes, the new B-8, it does come with its own adapter, but I would highly recommend using one like this, like a Dunlop adapter. And the reason why is because the cable is nice and long. So it's gonna give you plenty of room to put the new B-8 wherever you want. Because like I said, the one that comes with it is just a little bit too short, and it doesn't actually run from my extension cord over there up to on my desk. So I'd recommend something quite a bit longer. The next thing that you're gonna need is you're gonna need two cables, just two standard instrument cables. I always recommend getting longer ones instead of shorter ones, like I always say, because it's better to be too long than too short. So all you gotta do is you just plug in your adapter to the top of the unit, just like this, with it connected to the extension cord or whatever it is that you're using. Then you're gonna plug in your input cable, your instrument cable, into the input of the new B-8 on the side like this. And then you're gonna turn your amp on. From there, it's pretty much good to go. Now we just have to set it up on the receiver. So if I'm gonna put the new B-8 on my guitar strap, that's typically how I go about it anyway. I don't know how else you would do it. It seems to make the most sense to do it this way. But first you plug it into your input jack, just like what's shown here. And then what I do is I extend the cable the full length of it, and then I put it on top of the strap, just like so. And then I want to make sure it kind of like goes along with the strap in terms of the length. That way I can pull the strap and put it over my shoulder and not worry about it. And then what you do from there is that you just hit the on button right here. First it's going to turn the device on, but then you have to activate it by hitting the button once again. When it turns red, then it'll turn green. And then just like this, now it'll register with the B-8 and it'll work just fine. Now I chose a little amp just for demonstration's sake. It's a good way of showing things. But as you can see, when you strum the strings, it works just fine. So it works perfectly, it works as it should. But what's special about it to me and what made me like it even more is the following thing. I'm gonna show you that you can actually set it up to be outputted through more than one amp or more than one rig, and you can get creative in terms of how you set things up. So let me show you what I mean. By simply running another cable from this return output, if you run this into a different setup, so for instance, I'm just running it into my pedal board, which is going into my amp over there. So you can actually output through two different setups. So typically what I'll do is I'll actually output it through my Trident and my audio interface and then to GarageBand. And then I'll have the amp go at the same time. That way you get a stereo signal. So I'm gonna show you what that sounds like on this for demonstration's sake. So as you can see, there's a bit of distortion on that little amp, but that's normal. But yeah, so you can output this to two different setups for a stereo setup. And that's super useful for recording a stereo signal. So you can get a very wide, a really cool vibe. So I was running like an ambient clean preset on the Nux Trident, the new X Trident, and using my rig. So one is on the left side and one is on the right side. So I ended up creating this like really awesome tone with it. So now that I've showed you the cool stereo configuration that you can set up, which is also what I'm using now, let's walk through some of these settings on the new B-8. So the first thing you need to know is that you click your home button right here. That's going to put you into your settings just like so. And we'll start with the display. So you just scroll back and forth as you normally would. You got your home display. You can choose in between these two displays right here. And what these two bars show you is they show you the strength of the signal and how much battery is left on the receiver. So I prefer just to use a regular one because I think it looks better. And then you have your latency. So I have it on fairly low latency right now, but let's say you were having dropout problems, or you were having some other, issues, it's dropping out, it's doing things of that nature. You could actually put it up to stable like that. So personally, because I'm at home, there's really no need. Like, I'll just put it all the way down pretty well. I put it all the way down to low latency. But if you are having dropout issues, just set it to stable and see if that will be good enough for you. Next thing is you have your tuner. You have your displays that you can choose from. I just use the regular one, so there's these three. I just stick to that one. And then you can choose whether it bypasses or whether you can monitor. So that just means like whether or not you can hear the tuner, like whether you can hear your guitar as you're tuning it. So I just have it on bypass because who wants to listen to me tune, By the way, if you're looking for something to practice, get my fretboard memorization cheat sheet from travelingguitarist.com/fretboard cheat sheet. What it is it's all the triads, the major and minor triads in every single key. Through the octave mapping technique and through a couple other techniques, you can actually just learn to memorize not only the notes of the fretboard, but you can also learn how to improvise in a bunch of different keys by understanding the the foundation of harmony, which is the triads, right? The foundation of chords. You can also sign up to my forum at forum.travelingguitarist.com. There you can chat with people about guitar and music and whatever else you'd like. So I turn that off, and then you could have it switch between your tuner and your boost. So this is your foot switch. It designates the function of your foot switch. So for instance, I have it on tuner now. So now it functions as the tuner. But we don't want that, so we're going to go back into the settings. We're going to choose boost. Now we're going to turn on the boost. And then you have your output level. That's basically a volume control, not much to say there. So in terms of the boost works pretty well. So let's say if you're to put it to 12 dB like that, then we turn on the boost. Let's have it off first. So the output level is pretty good there, but if I turn the boost on now, it's a bit much. And we don't necessarily want that, right? So we're gonna put the boost down to a more reasonable, like, that's 6, so let's put it down to 4. Then we'll put it on. Even that's a bit too much, so we'll put it down a bit more. Let's put it down a wee bit more. You can set this up in a number of different ways. I love the B-8. I think it's amazing. Make sure you grab my cheat sheet too, my fretboard memorization cheat sheet. It's the triads all over the neck. You can get it at travelingguitarist.com/fretboard cheat sheet. And you can sign up to my forum too at forum.travelingguitarist.com.